Number 7, the Honourable David Parker.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Attorney-General. Why has the government not done more to deal with the occupation of the Taipa Point public reserve by foreshore and seabed protesters?
The Honourable Chris Finlayson.
The protest on Taipa Point public reserve is happening on the dryland reserve owned by the Far North District Council. It's for the council to serve a trespass notice on the occupiers, and this could then be enforced by the police, or the council could apply to the court for an injunction, as happened recently in the Coromandel region. Ministers cannot direct the police on operational matters, and I refer the member to Section 16.2 of the Policing Act 2008, and it's also not for central government to interfere in the operational affairs of local government.
The Honourable David Parker.
Given the assurance that the Attorney offered to a public meeting at Taipa recently, why has his government not acted to help the council and the local community enforce the law at Taipa?
The Honourable Chris Finlayson.
I gave a number of assurances at Taipa, and they included my willingness to consult with the people up there, quite apart from the select committee process currently underway, and my assurance to ensure that any legislation restored access to justice and respected property rights, 2 points that the audience certainly recognised.
The Honourable David Parker.
Is it true that senior local government representatives have personally asked both him and the Prime Minister for help to enforce the rule of law at Taipa, and why have both of them left the local council to deal with the problem alone?
The Honourable Chris Finlayson.
A number of people have contacted me. I don't know that they're necessarily senior members of the local council, but certainly people who were in the audience at my public meeting at Taipa have expressed concerns as to what the government is doing. I've already said in the answer to the primary what exactly is the appropriate course of action. I'm sure the member doesn't want me to start issuing directions under the police which would contravene the Policing Act or interfere in the affairs of local government.
The Honourable David.
Supplementary.
The Honourable David Parker.
Does the Attorney accept that the false expectation his government and the Maori Party created around the foreshore and seabed has fed the aggressive behaviour of protesters at Taipa?
The Honourable Chris Finlayson.
No, I think that's an absolutely ridiculous proposition. Both the Maori Party and the National Party are concerned about two things: restoration of the right of access to justice and property rights. And I would suggest that the actions of a few miscreants should not be allowed to get in the way of a principled debate on those two very important issues. The Foreshore and Seabed Act is disgraceful legislation and needs to be repealed.
Hilary Calvert. Hilary Calvert. Order. I've called Hilary Calvert. Order.
Supplementary. Why won't the government refuse to proceed with Ngāti Kahu's treaty settlement until their representatives are prepared to obey the rule of law and cease their trespass and occupation?
The Honourable Chris Finlayson.
Ngāti Kahu has a long-standing treaty grievance, and it's my responsibility as Minister of Treaty Negotiations to negotiate a just and durable settlement. It's a very odd proposition in my view, which seems to be implicit in that question, that the actions of a few should condemn an entire iwi.
The Honourable David Parker.
Hasn't it all gone too far when just hours ago the democratically elected Far North Mayor was thrown off the Taipa Public Reserve? And doesn't this show that the New Zealand Herald was right last year in its editorial dated the 8th of March when it said, and I quote, "Review of foreshore law opens wounds that have begun to heal"?
The Honourable Chris Finlayson.
Well, I disagree with that editorial. Wounds had not begun to heal. The Foreshore and Seabed Act was a real problem. It continues to be a problem, and until fundamental principles of access to justice and respect for property rights are restored for a substantial section of the population, this issue will continue. And I would hope that the Labour opposition would be prepared to deal with this matter on a principled basis.
Point of order, the Honourable David Parker. Order. Order.
I seek leave to table it is a press article, sir, but it's from the Northland Age, which is not in circulation.
Right,
It's entitled, What's the Mayor to Do?
Order. As a Northlander, I've got to say Northland's not that backward that we don't have access to those sort of press
Articles. Question number 8, Keith Locke.